So, hello everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat, also known as the Black Yul Brenner. As you guys know, today is Wednesday, and it is our show where we talk about relationships. So, we are calling it for now with Love, Demetra K. We might change it to something else, but originally we came with the idea of what's behind the booty, right? And that was really to help men, but I guess it turned into helping women too, try to figure out what's going on behind the cuteness of the man or the big booty of the woman or whatever, right? So that's kind of what this is. And so I also like to say the purpose of the Meet Your Case show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. I'd like to say a big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube, Twitter, all I'm known as X now, right? And Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you viewers, but you are family, and we do share the link from time to time. If you want to ask a question or give a comment, all I ask is that it is pertaining to what we are talking about. And if it's not, please wait until whatever you want to talk about is being discussed. Also, if I have not seen you on here before, please show me your face so that I can make sure that there is no shenanigans involved, because people like to troll from time to time. So I got an email, if I didn't already say, email from a woman wants to know why a man is playing game, well, wanted to play games with her. And of course, I'll read the email. And also, I want to ponder the question, do fathers have influence over their daughters anymore? And I'm going to show y'all a video which prompted me to wonder that. So let's see who was on here before I give it to Donovan. Donovan, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. You're enjoying this nice, beautiful Houston weather. I think it's like 90 degrees here. It's very sunny and all of that. Mike, nice. What's going on with you? Thunder said, did you guys hear about X Facebook was app went down the other day? Yep, I heard about that. This is another reason we all should have another form of communication just in case. Yeah, I got my radio charging right now. So I totally agree with you. Yep, get those radios. Who else is on here? Trish, how are you? I hope you are doing well. It says it's raining in New York as well. I hate to hear that, but it's beautiful here. Jay, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Sparkling for Jesus, what's going on? Soto, what's going on, Tia? How are you today? Pop, I hope you're having a great evening. And Black America, what's going on with you? Miss Tiffany, how are you? Roz, hope you're having a great day. And then, oh, you're in Riverside. Okay. I'll be in Riverside on Friday. Hopefully it's not raining when I get there. Donovan. And FBA Fire Goddess Tree, how are you?
All right. Welcome back, you guys. Welcome to formerly Where in the World is Walter? And now here we are with, our little love connection show and like that. Great to have you guys here, especially you guys that are regulars. Good questions that are coming up on this show. But as usual, you guys know the routine. We have a scrolling banner there. If you want to give 100% of your donation to the content creator, that is the best way to do it. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. She takes it all. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app. It's the best way to stay in contact with what's going on in the African diaspora. Again, a lot of problems going on in Haiti. And of course, the United States are shipping out Haitians at a record clip, dark-skinned people. Stuff that's going on in Africa. The Chinese have done some stuff there. I believe they closed, one of the construction companies has pulled out, whatever. But basically, all this information that I get it because I have subscribed to the African Diaspora News Channel. And what happens over there happens over here. So again, if you guys get a chance, go ahead, download that, subscribe that. And even if you don't subscribe, still go to the webpage and the Facebook page and become a member over there. Like, share, and subscribe whenever you can. So Demetra, let's get into this because I think it's going to be very, very great. And by the way, for all those guys that are telling me hello, hi, how are you guys doing? May you guys all be blessed today. So I'm in the chat. I'm in the comments.
Yes, indeed. And so Donovan and I, we're going to try to get out of here just a tiny bit earlier today, as he has something to do, and y'all know I just be tired, right? So nevertheless, let's get into it. Of course, you guys know that I solicit emails from people. If you have something you want me to read anonymously, you having an issue relationship wise or anything like that, I'd be more than happy to read it. If you do not want me to read your name, I will not do that. I also like to say this is not one of those shows that if you do come on here and you ask a relationship question, it's not one of those, gotcha type of things where we're going to beat you up and try to make a fool out of you. It is our goal is to, gain some understanding so we can help you and help us, right? Double-edged sword. So, all right, I got an email from somebody, a woman, an anonymous email, I should say, and it goes like this. Dear Demetra, I'm a 54-year-old woman. As I was getting ready to go out to celebrate my birthday with coworkers, a man that had been pursuing me called to say he wanted to take me out. When I told him about my plans, he asked if he could be my escort for the evening. I said yes and told him the time we'd be leaving. Needless to say, the time to leave had passed and I hadn't heard from him. About 30 minutes later, he texted and said, "Why didn't you call me back to let me know we were going, or if we're going out or not?" I got all dressed up and everything. So that's what he was saying. And she says, I was confused because he asked if he could go with me. And we agreed on the details of the evening. I called him on FaceTime, but he was being weird by not wanting to be seen. I asked him if I could see his outfit. He said he already got, and then he said he already got undressed. Clearly, he was hiding something. I told him to never call me again. Remember, he asked to be my escort. So she wants to know, one, was I being too harsh by telling him to never call me again? Two, should I have given him the benefit of the doubt? And then three, if he was lying, why play games? Donovan?
First of all, let me get ready to blow you guys' minds. Ladies, the pickings out there are very, very slim. Opportunity might only come once. Some of you guys might be twice, might be, a couple of times. Pickings are very, very, very slim. I think she's being too damn critical, number one, in her expectations of what a man should do and what he can't do. Is she a man? Does she know what we have to go through? Why is it that women automatically assume that, when a guy gets rejected, and guys in the chat, we get rejected all the time, right? We're just supposed to just, just walk off and like it's no big deal, right? But hey, it takes a lot of courage and a lot of mental getting together to go, and try to impress this woman, and then, and then she turns you down and stuff. But see, as men, we're supposed to just take it and move on. This woman sounds like she has the gall, like she's the prize to, I'm going to do this and he should do that, whatever. Hell to the no. Quit with your expectations of what went on 80 years ago. That's 80 years ago. You are dealing with a new generation of men. Two of the last generations being raised by mostly women. So her expectations are totally ridiculous in my opinion. She's not a man, so she doesn't know what a man is supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it, whatever the deal is. Feminism has totally confused the roles of men and women, because some women want their door open, some women want they could do it themselves. Some women want you to say, hi, you look nice today. Some women, what you want? Hey, unfortunately, at the end of the day, I think that she read into it too much, and her expectations were just way more than what it actually should have been.
Jay says he has to go with her. Donovan, this cat was overbooked. Keep it real, D. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I see it too. I mean, why are you asking to hang out with me, especially since, he had been pursuing her? She finally gives him a shot, and then he plays games or whatever the case is. If you didn't want to, why call me and say you're gonna go do all this, that, and the other, and then you play games? What time are we supposed to be leaving and all that other stuff? Because you could have very easily not darkened my doorstep. You could have just kept on going. I didn't. I gave you a shot. You called and wanted to be my escort. I said okay, and then it's like, oh well, what time we going? Oh, I already got undressed. And then when I call you on FaceTime, you're acting all weird and stuff. So no, I'm with her. It's not like it's somebody she knew, or a friend, or somebody she was dating, with somebody who wanted to get to know her. And I think he showed her all she needed to see. What I'm gonna show up and see more of that for? If that's how you act, and we ain't even going out, why would I want to give you a second chance to sit anywhere in the same room across the table with you and you already playing games. I mean, I'm just saying.
Again, you sound just like what men go through on a daily basis. We go through that on a daily basis. And, it's not an argument. I just want you ladies to understand. Put yourselves in men's shoes. You ask this girl for the date. Oh, I can't. Little Nook's head is hurt, so I got to stay home with my kids. I mean, last minute cancellations, this is that. And you know what? We as men are expected to just roll with it, right? We're just expected to roll with it. But when the situation is reversed, women are like, I gave him a chance. What the hell you mean? We're giving you a chance by even, asking you out on the date. We're giving you a chance, but you don't see us saying those type of things. That's what I'm saying. And again, I do see her point. I do see what she's saying. But what I'm saying is, what is with the bitching? This happens to men all the time.
Well, so I don't know if we were in a pissing contest, whether it happens to men or not. Women, it's not right, regardless of whoever it happens to. She's 54 years old, so I'm assuming the man is somewhere within that vicinity. So that's why I put the thumbnail where we were too old for games. Why are you playing games, man? We past the century mark. Ain't nobody know how long we got left, and you playing games with me? I didn't call you. You called me, and I said, "Oh, okay." Maybe she thought, okay, he was a nice guy. He was gonna, whatever. She gives him a shot. Yeah, she gave him a chance because she didn't have to give him that. She could have said, no, leave me alone. But she didn't do that. She was like, all right, I guess. Let me see what he's about. And he dropped the ball. So, if you're listening, ma'am, don't give that joker another chance. He a sucker. Because he could have very easily not called you that day if he was not prepared to go out. And like somebody else said, I think maybe he was married and he had something else going on, and maybe he didn't think she was going to say okay. Maybe he was, I don't know what it was, but at the end of the day, he's too old to play games. Go play with your mama.
No, I agree. No, I absolutely agree with you. They are too old to play games, but unfortunately, everybody's not raised the way we're raised, right? So we can't put that expectations on everybody else, correct?
I could put it, me personally, no, I could put expectations on you not to call me no more if you're playing games. I don't have control over that.
Sure, and that's the only power we have. It's like, okay, this person's playing a game. Let me move on to the next. That's what I'm saying. Ladies, welcome to equality.
And Simone said, and how you doing, by the way? Long time no see. Says, but did she do that to him? I don't know. It doesn't sound like they've ever gone out before. Sounds like maybe it was their first time going out, and he dropped the ball. And I think she has every right to be concerned about that, because nobody likes their time to be wasted. Nobody likes to be played with, especially unnecessarily. You trying to get to know me, and that's how you were getting out the gate. Yeah, like I said, go play in traffic. Don't play with me. And I think she wasn't too harsh. Don't ever call me again. Call those little girls or those women who like all of that. I just ain't one of them because it was unnecessary.
Exactly. No, and I agree with you. Like I said, I am not disproving how she reacted to the situation, how she was treated. I agree with that. But unfortunately, we've got people out here that don't know how to act. And unfortunately, in a world of equality, you've got some guys that are just like, hey, go on to the next. It's no big deal. You see what I'm saying? She's a big girl. Pull up your big girl panties and whatever, and you go on to the next. She said what she had to say, and you just keep it moving, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that she ain't sulking. I mean, you don't sulk over somebody you don't know. But, I think everybody has a right to say, I don't like having my time wasted. Yeah, I didn't call you. You call me, and then you call me with the games. So now you don't ever need to worry about playing games with me no more, because you ain't going to call me no more. It's just that simple, But I would say, for whatever reason, if you're a man or a woman and you are doing that to somebody, knock it off. If you don't have time to, actively date or pursue somebody the right way, don't do that, because it's making you look bad, especially if you in your 50s. It's like, come on. So that should be out of style in your 50s, I would think.
Well, let me ask you this, Demetria, and I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, because there's wisdom there. But when you see older women competing with younger girls wearing, pink hair and, doing, wearing, whatever. I mean, who is raising who here? I mean, it's I don't know. I've been in the dating game for a long time, right? And let me tell you guys, for those of you guys that watch this channel and outside of the politics in this relationship thing, and I'm going to be honest. People will tell you, all my buddies, they look at me traveling, like, oh man, he's living the life. Oh man, Donovan's the man. Oh man, look where he's at. Look what he's doing. Look at these girls, whatever. If you're a married person and you're in your 50s or a little bit older and you've been with your spouse for, 15 plus years, there ain't nothing in these streets worth pursuing. Trust me. Now, at 50 something years old, I'm telling you, and I'm not trying to down all women because this ain't an all women show. The women that are in my age group, problems. Okay. I'm telling you, it is very, very difficult to date because, again, I'm dealing with women that are successful, as just as successful as I am, if not more. Women that are very independent, whatever. It's just not going to jive with an alpha male, So my advice to those of you guys that have somebody that has a spouse and you're a little bit seasoned, stay with that person because there's nothing in these streets.
Right. And, as a woman that is Donovan's age, I'm going to tell you, one could say the same thing as far as, it's rough out there for finding men my age, but I won't blanket all men because I have not dated all men. I have not dated all men in my age group, so I cannot put that blanket over all men. Right? I can only blanket the people that we have come into, or for me, come into contact with. But yeah. And Sparkling for Jesus says, as women, we have expectations, and men should have expectations as well. And then Raj, you say that man probably found someone else he wanted to be with and bailed on her. That's fine. You're allowed to do that, but why call and talk about I want to be your escort and then text talk about I didn't hear from you? It's like, huh? Okay, but just because you in your 50s don't mean you're an adult. That does not mean you're mature. There's people who are 50, 60, 70 and still act like teenagers. So yeah, stay away from people like that.
Especially those brothers that are running around 40, late 40s, early 50s with the wife beaters and the khaki sagging pants and stuff. They're stuck. They're stuck. They're still dressing like they're 16 years old. They're just stuck. But I want to tell the chat this, Demetra, and you guys don't know how many hours I send and I talk to this woman. Demetra, you will never find anybody staying in your bat cave. Okay, you got to leave the bat cave. All right.
I do leave that. I leave the house, but it ain't really safe in these streets. You know what I mean? People be out there acting crazy. Listen, what's for me is for me. I ain't got to force nothing at all. When he comes, he will come. I could be in a cave somewhere. I could be on the moon. And if he's for me, he is for me. I ain't got to get out there in them clubs shaking my money maker or none of that kind of stuff because Demetra don't do that no way. I won't find no man in no club.
Not anymore.
Yeah, when I was 20, it was cute. But now that I'm 52, it's pathetic. I'm just saying. Yes, I'm too dang old for that. FBA Fire, he says, I can't do nothing myself. I don't know where the garbage bag's at. I don't change tires. I don't fix toilets. I'm okay with washing the clothes and some extra. I don't want equality between me and my man. I know that's right. Trust me, I say that every time I got to drag a trash can out to the curb. I'm like, this is so unsexy. It really is, And Jay says, that drives me crazy. I run from the type of women. And Cosmo Energy, he says, even in the 30s, pursue properly or don't pursue at all. Protect your peace. Ladies, don't settle. Totally agree with you. And Yawade, how you doing? And Cosmo, you say, strong men like strong women. A strong man doesn't want a door mat. And Entree, how you doing? He says, agree with Donovan, dating at 45, 55 is rough. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of women that say the same thing, but settle down to a good choice. Yeah. You ain't got to be concerned. Listen, one thing you ain't got to do is be concerned with dating all men and women. Just be concerned with that one. Just all you need is one, unless you're polygamous.
Right. Now, let me ask you guys this, and this is for the chat, and Demetrius, you want to answer it. Just like a magnet, you see two northern poles, and two southern poles. You put the two northern poles together, they repel each other. Would you guys think that one of the biggest problems in dating today is because women are now on tier with men, if not making more money than men and all whatever they keep saying, that is a big problem in that, you know, you have the same properties and you're repelling each other. Do you see what I'm saying? Because me and Dimitri talk about this all the time. Men have to be needed. It's like me being a single man. When I was married, I was more effective as a husband because my wife would say, Donovan, I need you to do this. Donovan, I need you to do that and do this. And I would do it, you know, and then I'd leave me alone, give me my plate, you know, everything's good, right? But now with women doing it on their own, leading their own households, doing it, you know, successfully, however you want to call it, wouldn't that repel the couple against each other because they have so many things in common that they would repel, just like a magnet? Would you guys agree with that? Would you disagree?
I disagree with that because if she is single, she's on her own. What's she supposed to do? Not take care of herself until a man comes along? You know what I mean? She got to fend for herself. She got to pay her rent, mortgage, buy groceries, car note, whatever it is. She got to take care of herself. So, you know, that's just the life of anybody who's single. You got to learn how to self-maintain. Now, when somebody else comes along, then y'all have that discussion if y'all going to go that far, right? If we've courted and we see that we are a fit for each other, and we like each other and all that, then we start having a conversation about leadership roles and submission and whose house and, you know, all those other things. But surely you don't expect to find a woman up off the street waiting for a man to sweep her off her feet. I wasn't trying to rhyme. Yeah, that woman, especially if she my age, she gonna be, you know, taking care of herself. So what's she supposed to be doing until a man comes along? So you're sitting and twiddling her thumbs, eating the Vienna sausages?
Well, I'm not saying that. Like I said, you know, of course, it's called adulting. Of course, you got to, you know, live and do what you got to do. But what I'm saying is when two people come together, and if that guy's got himself together and let's say he's successful at his job and he's a man doing what he's got to do, and then she's successful at what she's got to do, something's got to give. And you know that I say this in regards to myself. I use myself an example. I will, just like your father, Dimitra, I will never concede my role as a man. I will never concede that. Don't care what she has to say. I don't care how much money she makes, whatever. Unfortunately, you have a lot of women that have misconstrued the roles, and they believe that being subservient is a negative thing. And it's not a subservient thing. You're a support. It's like, you know, me being in the Air Force. Anybody that's been in the military will tell you the Air Force is a support organization for the other organizations. Our job is to support. In my household, and I can speak for my household, a woman is to support me, period. And I think that's the problem where you've got two people. Well, I'm the leader. No, I'm the leader. I can't speak for other people's households, but in my household, a divided house can't stand. I am not going to give up my role as ordained by God, and whatever you believe is what you believe. But my religion says I am the leader. Woman was created for man because man was lonely, not the other way around. So I think that's a big problem in our society today, where women have now got up there and it's hard to let go because, like I said, what did I just say, ladies? Me as a man, I refuse to let go of my leadership qualities and what I have to bring. And I believe women that are in that position, for whatever reasons, you've been there for so many years, it's hard to let go of that position when a man comes in there to say, okay, this is how it is. Do you see what I'm saying? Maybe.
No, I mean, it makes perfect sense. But I think, you know, you got to put it into proper perspective as well. I mean, you talking about from your point of view where you can bring a woman in and you ain't expecting her to do nothing. You ain't expecting her go out there and bust no hustle.
Oh, no, I'm expecting her to do something. Trust me.
Right. But I'm saying you ain't expecting her to go out there and get half the mortgage and half the car notes and half the groceries. You're not expecting her to do that. So, yeah, that would be her job, is to submit onto you, right? That her job is in the house, and I'm taking care of my man. I'm taking care of me. I'm taking care of the house. But come on now, let's keep it a buck. We know that ain't the way it is now. We talk about it all the time. Black men are making about $50,000 on average, and black women about $40,000. So, especially anywhere in America, a man making $50,000 unless he's got very, very low mortgage, and he's really good with money and stuff, he's probably not going to be able to take care of a woman, on that salary, a woman and children. So I think you got to bring that into play. Now, I'm one of those people that think even though I have a job, that the husband is still the head of the household. I don't have a problem with submitting and all that other stuff, but I think you also need to bring into the picture a lot of women won't follow because a lot of men don't know how to lead. We ain't talking about my daddy's generation, my grandpa's generation, right? Because we got to remember, especially in our community, the daddy started to leave the house at one point time or another. Not all, but quite a few men have not seen what it means to lead from a man. They might live with their mama. Y'all talk about it all the time. Single mama is the head of the household to the tune of 70%. So a lot of men probably don't know what it's like to lead. And unfortunately, with this World Wide Web we got going on, there's a lot of misinformation of telling men and women what you should do. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. And those people have absolutely no experience. And they're telling people how to be in a relationship when they haven't been in one successfully themselves or at all, right? So like I said, I think there's levels to it. But yeah, absolutely. In your world where your woman does not have to work, her job is you and her and the house. So totally. All right, let's see. So a lot of people agree, Donovan, what he was saying. And Jay says women don't want to hear that, not realizing they are going against God's order. Yeah, but God, you see, this is the other thing too. A problem that I have with people who quote the Bible, you don't quote all the Bible. It does say women are wives are supposed to submit unto their husbands, but does the husband not have responsibilities and stuff he's supposed to adhere to from that Bible? I don't go to church. I do know the Bible a little bit. Does the man not have roles and things that he is supposed to do? Right? So when we quote in this Bible, we also got to quote what the responsibility of the woman is and the responsibility of the man. It cannot be, I am man, you feed me, F me, be quiet.
But what's wrong with that?
Well, right. See what I'm saying? Because there's more to it than that. So, just in case people are wondering. I thought it said somebody, these women are going to have to learn to relinquish command. I mean, I don't know any women personally that says, I'm not following no man. I always ask what kind of women y'all running into that y'all even hearing that, and why are you sticking around to hear it more than once? See, that's the problem. A lot of times you fellas hear women say all that, and y'all think y'all could change her. Y'all think y'all could force leadership upon her. She already told you by her actions and the things that she has said that I'm not following you, sucker. You gonna follow me. But the problem is y'all keep on trying to, as I said the other day, it's an old song. My mom used to listen to it all the time. If it don't fit, don't force it. Just relax and let it go. Y'all won't do that. Y'all under this impression, I can mold her. I hear this a lot with men, with younger women. I could train her. I could teach her. It's like, is she a horse? Is she a puppy? You know what I'm saying? And, even thinking about training a horse and a dog, there's a lot to that. I would think if you're an older man, why would you want to go through all that molding and training a woman, especially if she's like a wild stallion?
Yeah, is it training or would it be the word lead? I can lead her.
But she's already told you can't lead me. I'm not able to be led. But again, that's that what's behind the booty. Man, our booty big. Oh my God. I know there's something I could say, I could do, and she gonna listen to me. Instead of that 2 minutes, I'm gonna give her 2.5 minutes, and then maybe she gonna lead. I'm gonna, put her legs up in the air, and then I'm gonna let her go get, supersized at McDonald's, and then maybe she'll leave. No, she already told, I am not capable of following you nowhere. So that, I don't know. Cosway says, if you were truly a leader, you wouldn't be intimidated by a woman who's also a leader. This isn't the 1800s. I'm one of those people. I do believe that there is an order in the house. Now, because the man leaves doesn't mean that she is just like, hey, which way do we go? I wouldn't want to be with a man who would want to be with a woman like that. Because I think a man that's smart, he knows that his woman should be smart and be able to add something to it. Maybe she could see something different or whatever the case is. But like I said, I don't know. Maybe the dingbat is where it's at.
Well, let me ask you this, Miss Cosmos Energy. I liked your thing on the chat. We're talking in the chat as well. Let me ask you this. Why is it that a woman, I find it really weird when women say a man is intimidated by a woman. I have never met a man that has ever been intimidated by a woman. You know, why do they say that? What is intimidating about a woman? I've never met a man that is intimidated by a woman. I'm not intimidated by a woman by physicality, by looks, by anything. Her success, I'm not intimidated because I know I'm a man and my physicality is all I need to really deal with it. So when women say men are intimidated by physicality, they're intimidated. What do they really mean by that? Because I don't know any men that are intimidated.
Well, I understand what that means. There are some men that are intimidated by a woman who know a little something, maybe more than he does, and he gets offended by that. There are some women who may make more than a man, and he feel a certain type of way about that. So there is some sort of intimidation with that, and I think that's normal. But is it normal to for it to turn into resentment? Because if you don't like that woman's maybe know a little bit more something than you, or she's making $1 more than you, then you probably shouldn't get with that woman, because what you're going to end up doing is traumatizing her, because you have not been able to mature enough to say her money and her intelligence does not reflect negatively on me. That is probably something that she had before she got with you.
But is that intimidation or is that fear? Because if I'm intimidated by somebody, I wouldn't engage them. I wouldn't marry them. I wouldn't date them. You see what I'm saying?
What's the definition of intimidation?
I don't know. Google it. I don't know.
Isn't it fear?
I don't know. Like I said, off the top of my head, I don't know.
I think it's probably in the same family, you know.
Okay. Like I said, I'm learning myself too, because whenever I hear women say intimidate, I think that's the wrong word.
No, I definitely think intimidation is the right word. I mean, there's a lot of women who are intimidated by men, you know, for whatever reason.
Well, yeah, but mostly women are intimidated by men by our physicality. Other than that, I don't think women are intimidated. If it wasn't for our physicality, I don't think women would be intimidated at all.
I mean, a person can can intimidate you. Say I'm a woman and a man is maybe speaking a little bit austere to me. Hey, I said, what you talking about?
Right.
That's intimidation.
Right. But you're intimidated because of his physicality. What could happen?
So we're compartmentalizing the type of intimidation. We're not saying it's a one size fits all.
No, exactly.
People are intimidated by different things in a relationship. You know, you can have a friend that's intimidated by you because maybe he feels you know how to fix the car and he don't. I don't know. You know.
Okay, got it.
All right, and Alonzo, how you doing? And Jay says the problem with women staying home not working, they seem to get involved in other things that they shouldn't be, like running with single friends. See, that's the other problem too. The woman is damned if she do, she damned if she don't. But again, get you a woman that ain't gonna be doing all of that. Get you a woman that is not gonna have her single friends but be more important than you. And I agree. I think married people should have boundaries when it comes to single people, because single people, they out there in them streets. As my daughter say, they young, hot, and turned, you know, and that's what single people supposed to be, right? But if you married, yeah, you probably shouldn't be out there getting young, hot, and turned because you married. And that go for men too. There's a lot of men out there that can't cut the homies loose. They run the streets with the homies and they wife at home or whatever. So I just think it goes both ways. But do you want the woman to stay home? Can you trust that a woman gonna stay home and do what she's supposed to do? You know what I mean? I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna skip on down because I know I'm behind. And Marcelo, how you doing? It says that's just like everybody says that Jesus died for my sins, but they never complete the rest of the sentence. He also go and say sin no more. Right. My people were destroyed for lack of knowledge, and the other part is and their rejection of truth. Right. So, like you said, people leave off the other stuff. A woman is supposed to do this. A woman is supposed to do that. You ask them, well, what does the good Lord say the man's supposed to do? I don't know. Was it just reading the part about what the woman was supposed to do? You skipped over the part about what you were supposed to do.
See, and that's the type of men that do that kind of stuff, because a real man, I'm not reading what women are supposed to do. That isn't my job to worry about what a woman's supposed to do. As a man, I need to master what I'm supposed to do. And like your father, Demetra, I've mastered what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. Man, a man is supposed to master what he's supposed to do, and I think that a man's supposed to understand a woman's role, and all of that. I think we should understand each other as best we can, because you don't want to get into any situation and not understand the situation. Donovan, that's like when you get in the plane. You're not gonna get in a plane you never flown before, and then somehow you get it off the ground and say, "Well, I didn't think I needed to understand it." You might not make it back alive. So I think it's the same thing. We should understand what it is we're doing and who we're doing it with. And so absolutely, the husband is supposed to love his wife like the way Christ loved the church or his followers. Exactly. So very good. Hello, Lady Diana. I hope you are doing very well. Let me skip down because I know I'm a little bit behind. Alonzo says, men also need to be worthy of such commitments. Women have an inherent sense of security. She ain't following no fools. I don't think, see all them people back there on that balcony? I don't think they heard you. Say it a little bit louder. Say it just a little bit louder. All right. Yeah, Marcella, there's more than just, getting horizontal. And Thunder, you say, the women who refuse to relinquish command typically have colored hair. You crazy. Nasal septum rings, poor English, and poor attitudes, and always have a horror story to tell about a past relationship. Oh, you'll be surprised how many women going up into them high-rise buildings with red bottoms and pencil skirts on and a nice little cute Gucci, briefcase that can't, take correction or instruction, if you will, from her man.
They're pastoring in the church now. They're bringing them in the church because they figure that's going to bring the men back into the church. They're hiring these big booty women pastors.
Right. Lady Diana says there is a natural order to men and women, but people want to interrupt that order. Yeah, and you're always going to have chaos when you do that. I don't know. I just feel like for me, because I'm 52, so I understand more about traditional roles because that's what I saw. And I do believe that the man should be more alpha, and the woman, I guess, should be more beta, but not in the sense that she's weak. Out of that same Bible, it says that women should be meek. That doesn't mean she's weak. Meek. That means she ain't loud talking. You don't tell me what to do. I said I only listen to my daddy. You ain't my daddy. I don't even know why a man would want to even be with a woman like that. To me, she ain't started doing it when y'all hopped over the broom. She done showed you her behind once or twice before, and y'all thought it was cute. She a little spicy, little firecracker. Then you got married, and she really turned up on you. So whose fault is that really that you decided to make a life with a woman that you can't say nothing to? I think the fault is yours.
Wait a minute. She told me she was pregnant. I was trying to do the right thing.
You should have been making sure you're doing the right thing before you got her in that situation. Don't cry now, sucker. Don't cry now. Simone says, I've had a man tell me I was intimidating and he is in the Navy. I've had men tell me that too. That's why I'm saying I know that's a thing. And it's not that you're doing something per se. Now, I guess it could be women who's like, yeah, I'm telling you what to do. That would be intimidated. But there's some women who are just naturally themselves. And for whatever reason, a man is intimidated. I don't know. But I think anybody who's intimidated within reason, that speaks more about them than it does you. Maybe they need to work on some confidence, self-esteem, type of stuff. But yeah. And Raj, you say older single women can't curl up and die until Mr. Right comes along. She's got to survive. When she does commit to him, their roles need to be defined. Yeah, define that before y'all commit. Listen, beautiful. Are you going to be able to and you can tell by a person's action whether they are able to submit to leadership. You could tell. That's not something that happens when they get, maybe one day she gonna learn to listen to me. She need to be able to do that from day one. That's not saying, life is too short to be dealing with somebody who is hard-headed. So Common Man, how are you doing? I hope you are doing well. You said you just woke up from your old man nap. Lord, have mercy. Gerard, how you doing? He says Sheila Jackson Lee won a primary election yesterday. Yes, she did, but she still gotta make it to November or past November, right? Frank, how you doing? He says I don't see it as a red flag. Okay, and Miss B says I was told and still get told that they are intimidated on asking me out or income. Yeah, that it's a thing. You know, whether we realize it or not. Thunder says, can we substitute the word intimidate for the phase not willing to deal with her BS? Nah, because I think if that's the case, then yeah, that's the case. But there are legitimately cases where people, men or women, are intimidated by another person, and it doesn't have anything to do with that other person. They just, like I said, maybe they need to work on their own confidence or whatever it may be. I mean, because what you're asking, when I hear a person is intimidated, you either want them to scale down. Now I can see if the person was just doing too much, and then you might not want to mess with that woman. But if she's being her natural self and you're intimidated, don't ask her to switch up to make you comfortable, because what's going to happen is that woman is going to shrink to your low self-esteem. When you feel a little bit better about yourself, you're going to leave her in the dust. That's how that works. Let's see. JJ says being uncomfortable. Okay, so let me skip down. Roku, how you doing? Says that's an excuse they use. They say men are intimidated by them so as to make themselves feel better and greater than what they really are. Men are not intimidated by woman's success at all. I mean, it's a personal choice. But like Simone, I too have had men say that to me. I've had men say that to me, and I'm not doing, and that's not even men I'm dating. I've had men say that, so I don't know why they see it that way, but it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with them. So yeah, I know y'all take exception to that because y'all, as a man, you just don't see yourself being intimidated by a woman, but maybe not you, with somebody else. All right. Jay says, tell me another intimidated by a woman, intellect, and her backbone. And Frank says, just like when people use the term homophobic, I think all words are abused to some degree, but I think there's sometimes where there's legitimacy to those words. Like a person can be toxic. A person can be a narcissist. A person can be intimidated or homophobic, but that does not apply in every situation. I agree it is overused, but I don't think it should be discarded completely. Thunder says the women I deal with, they have single friends, but that's because their single friends are widows. Yeah, that's a different story. I know ladies you dealing with probably ain't up at the club, unless they're going out with Sheila Jackson Lee or something. Okay, let me skip down. And the comment says, but Demetri, if you give a woman too much, then he's a sucker. Incredible. Now, if you give a woman too much, no. What is too much? What does that mean to give a woman too much? And is she your woman? So those things need to be defined. Like, we can't really just continue just to say stuff without really giving it context. What is too much? Because what's too much for you may not be too much for the next man. And a person that's saying something is too much may not have the means, and so they're saying it's too much. But somebody else who does have the means might say, oh yeah, if you ask me, I don't think I'm giving you enough. So what does that mean exactly? And Frank says, I don't care if a woman makes more than me. It's just material. See, there you go. Sparkling for Jesus says, get those likes up. And thank you so much. FBA Fire says, some successful women are very controlling and can't share that controlling relationship. She will get a man that has less than her to try to control him and degrade him because she can't handle an alpha. Right? I totally agree with you. But the other thing is, men, why y'all getting in a relationship with a woman like that? It is not natural. It is not natural for a man to be beta to a woman. That woman will not respect you in the end. She won't. It's cute now because she's almost like a little pet. Oh, I got something new, But after a while, she gonna be like, then she gonna be boinking the gardener because he glistening and he, mowing the grass with all that vigor. You know what I'm saying?
Demetra.
Yes.
It's because of the booty. It's because the girl is fine. We just want to try to get with her because we're programmed that way. Again, ladies.
Say it right. I just want to get with her.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. We are programmed that way. If men did not have the programming of sleeping with as many women as we can get, the human race would go extinct. We would just go extinct. But I'm just saying, it's just something that we're programmed to do. If this girl is fine, even though she might be an alpha female, let's say, right? Because even alpha females in the animal kingdom, they mate. And a lot of them are black widows. They'll eat in the insect world, they'll eat their mate and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is, even those guys knowing that these women will eat them, we still try to mate because she might be fine. And that's what you women got to understand. We are programmed this way, just like you guys are programmed your way. And we come together and we're supposed to make it work. My deficiencies and my attributes, your deficiencies and your attributes, and we make a beautiful family and all that other stuff and go on and live happily ever after. Imperfectly perfect.
You don't go on happily ever after because y'all get on the internet and complain about it.
Right, exactly. Because we start hearing that mouth and whatever else stuff, and we say, you know what? I'm done with this. Let me just go on to the next.
Arneba says, my best friend was intimidated by Wilma Rudolph after he bragged how he was going to make her his girlfriend in college. Did it work? And Doe, how are you doing today? I hope you are doing well. Let's see here. Brother Samuel, what's going on with you? I got all those books. I got so many books I need to read. When you send me those books, I was like, yeah, that reminds me. I need to get my reading up. But anyway, greetings to you. Says we have the compliment if what the other needs. So yeah, we have to compliment each other, right? Ragnar, how are you doing this evening? Long time no see. Let's see. Jay says, if you're intelligent, you don't have to compete with an intelligent man. Look to compliment and enhance one another. I totally agree. Listen, honey, I may be smarter than you, but use what I got. Let me learn from me. I'm going to learn from you, right? We compliment each other. It's not you idiot. You don't know nothing. Sit down so I could teach you something. It's we compliment each other, right? We teach each other. That's how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to be a counterbalance to one another. Not I'm telling you what to do. And I don't even want to do that, to be honest with you. And Thunder says, when a woman says, I need a man that can handle me, a man is supposed to only handle problems and wild animals. Which one is she? Yeah, I think that's horrible. I don't even know where that came from. I need a man that can handle me. Why would you want him to handle you? When I hear a woman say that, I think of a wild horse, something that needs to be ran down and lassoed up.
Wait a minute. There's good analogy to a wild horse in a man's mind. In those intimate moments, what is it that we're doing? All right, I'll leave it at that.
All right. And Hashim, how you doing? He says a man will never be intimidated or tell a woman she's intimidating. That's weak. Well, we don't deal in absolutes here. Men tell women that all the time. Like I said, I've had men tell me that, and they weren't conceding weakness. They were just, in passing, maybe having a conversation or whatever, but they weren't saying it like I'm doing something to them or anything like that. And I don't think it's wrong with somebody saying, I'm a little intimidated by you, whatever. That I don't know. I don't see that as a problem. Miss B says another word others use is not on my or their level up. Yeah. But you know what the truth is? There are some people who are not on the level of other people. They're just not. But the problem with the people who feel like they're on a higher level or a different level, problem is when you get with people who are not, And Ragnar says, I don't know any married women that think men are intimidated by women. Just the single ladies, any excuse will do to avoid accountability. Well, the great part is you don't know in your situation, but that does not mean that it's true for everybody. Different strokes for different folks. So, and Lady Diana, he says, yes, Donovan, crazy but true, and she was able to move her mom. So you guys are having a conversation. Got you. Simone says, I definitely don't see myself as intimidating. Yeah, as I said, I think it's in the eye of the beholder. Maybe it speaks more to them, maybe not feeling so confident. We hear it all the time from men. They might be in a bar or something. I've heard men say, oh, I don't want to go, up to that woman or whatever because she looks intimidating or she looks high maintenance or something like that. So, why is that her fault? that somebody is perceiving something from her, especially if she don't know them. Me Sweet Talks, how you doing? Top Notch Rocker, what's going on with you? I hope you're having a great day. Ghost, how are you? And Cosmo, you say many of these male chatters are showing their feelings of inadequacy. Oh Lord, you gonna put a beehive in the comment section and step on it, huh? Yes, Miss Sweets, with love, Wednesday. Brogu says men don't like women that act like men, and successful women tend to be masculine to deal with harshness of a business world. Not every woman, but in a trait that is found in successful women. Yeah, I would say that's probably true to some degree, because yeah, she's got in a business world that's especially dominated by men. Yeah, she got to prove that she's can hang with the big boys, right? She probably not gonna get too far. She's, oh really? Oh yes, pass me that business report. Yeah, she got to say, yeah. You know, my favorite scene in the whole world, one of them. Donovan knows what it is, on Monty Dearest after Albert King died, and Joan Crawford. Albert King was the president of PepsiCo, and he was married to Joan Crawford. And she goes into the break room after he dies, not the break room, but the boardroom, conference room. They're having a meeting, and they're talking about buying her out, getting her out of there, because naturally she dies, her husband dies, and she's the, the CEO or whatever. So she gets up in there, and they're like, well, Miss King,
thank you for your service. We'd like to retire you, and they're like that.
And she basically says, well, I'm not going nowhere. And they kept on trying to push her out the door. Donovan, what did she say to them?
Don't fuck the face!
And she says, now let's get to work. And what they do, they got to work.
They cowered down and got to work.
So I say that to say, I get it. Sometimes a woman, especially in the business world that's dominated by men, yeah, she gonna get ran over. So she got to, toughen up a little bit. But the other question is, why does she got to do that? Why does she have to, get some fake, let's try to be clean, testicles?
And well, a lot of them got those big shoulder pads in the. I remember that was a big thing in the 80s and 90s, the big shoulder pads. Yeah. Broad shoulders.
Right. Exactly. Masculinity. So the other question is, why does she got to be acting like that? Why does she got to come out of being feminine to get the same respect as a man would in the business world? I'm just asking. Common Man says too much is everything she wants. Everything she wants is everything she sees. That's one of my favorite songs in the 8th grade. I got a story about that song. I'll tell it to y'all maybe when we get out of here. So you say too much is everything she wants. Yeah, I guess that ain't the woman you want to be with. Let another man. Listen, I know women, okay, that are with men who never tell them no. So for that man, it ain't too much. To each its own. If it's too much for you to give her everything she wants, then guess what? That ain't your woman. Let another man who was like, oh, it's my pleasure, baby. Anything you want, let him have her. And get somebody who was like, no, a hot dog is okay. I know we had it last night. I'm just playing.
Simp, you are describing a simp that is hurting the male community. Fellas, I'm going to give you guys this advice because it works for me. When you meet a nice young lady and you guys are having Netflix night, no, you don't want to see a rom-com or none of that stupid stuff. No Star Wars, none of that action, no Fast and Furious, none of that stuff. Just sit her down and click What's Love Got to Do with It. Have her watch the whole show. And at the end of the movie, ask her any questions.
Yes, can you go to the part of the movie where Tina whoops his ass in the back of the limo?
Again, it is a movie, so that part is not true. But let's go to the part where she's in the dressing room, where he's bringing her the flowers. You can't leave me, Tina, because I'm in here. I'm in here.
I've already left you, sucker. You're gone. You're gone. Oh, my God. Okay, let me skip down for real. Alonzo says, my dad said, marry the woman that loves you and not the one that you just love. Grown folks don't just jump into anything. Come on now. Come on now. Let's think about what we're doing here, you know? Because after that's why they say don't get horizontal first. Because all your good judgment goes out the window after y'all done hopped around. And then you think that's love, right? You think that's love, and it's not. It's just temporary, you know? Um, all right. Yeah. I saw Thunder's question. He crazy. Arneva says, no, it didn't work, Dimitri. He was too scared, but he did marry Miss Ohio. So you're talking about Wilma Rudolph. Okay, well, sounds like he, married an excellent woman, even still, right? And Marcella says, in the sex parties, women tend to tell the truth about their sexual affairs. Really? I don't know nothing about that now. All right, so let me skip down for real, so I can catch up. Common Man says, I need a woman who's a partner. So what is she talking about? Are you talking to me? I don't know. But yeah, you should have a woman that's a partner, right? Somebody who's in tandem with you, not somebody who's working against the grains. Why would you want that? But I've heard some men say they turned on by a woman that's, a little bit on the unruly side. She got a little wildness to her.
Yeah, it's the idea of the hunt and the hunter, the hunted and the hunter, and that's just a part of our animalistic aspects as mammals.
Right. Thunder says, find a woman who want to be traditional wives, and this won't even be an issue. Like, go to Louisiana, but Louisiana below Interstate 10, and you can find a good wife from there. That's good wives everywhere.
I don't know. I was in New Orleans last week, dog, and I'm telling you, it was. I don't know, man. They got tattoos on their foreheads. I don't know.
Hello, Grace. If I didn't already, how you doing? It says, if they are abusive men, they know they will have a problem. Okay. And Alonzo said, you ain't scared. Miss Sweet Talk, she says, men are always approaching me. I try to look mean, intimidating, but it doesn't work.
Well, Miss Sweet Talk, you got to remember also you're a red bone. So, not saying that makes you this, but for some reason, in our community, the lighter skinned women get a better look than the regular girls, I guess. I don't know.
I'm going to let y'all have that. Common Man, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. It says, I'm a man who handles many things. So I need a woman who handles woman things, i.e. match. Yeah, you don't want to have to handle a woman, is she bucking against you? Yeah, I mean, unless you into that thing, you might be turned on by that kind of thing. And there's some men who are, she just give me a hard time, but there's just something about that woman. So I don't know. Fonzie, how you doing? Okay. He says, Dimitri, you're literally the type of woman that's difficult to approach only because you don't give off approach me vibes. Even a man is interested. Hold on a second. Deanna. Oh, I think my daughter's washing her hair. I was going to have her tell you about men that approach me. Men approach me.
Let me break this down. I'm just sick of this. Okay. Let me tell you guys something. Dimitri's last husband, and I'm not saying this to be negative or to run the guy down or whatever the deal is. When I met Dimitri's husband, I looked at him and I looked at her. And I said, in my mind, how is this possible? And one thing I could say about my friend, she isn't one of these women that, I got a master's degree, I did this, I done this. Because you talk about the odd couple, this was the odd couple. And she gives any dude that is, constructive and confident about himself a chance. Because any other woman that I've experienced that is in Dimitri's level, can I say that level, would be like, oh no, that's beneath me. I deserve better. I know my worth. Those are the type of women you would think Dimitri would be like, but she's nothing like that. If you come to her and you're, confident guy and you come, straight, she'll give you a shot. She'll give you a shot until you screw it up. And in most cases, they screw it up.
Yeah, and I would say too, now I'm a little bit more wiser than when I was married in my 40s for 10 months. Okay. A little bit more wiser now, so I can kind of see things I'm very nice. I'm not one of those women. If a man approaches me, what you want? Who told you to talk to me? I talk to everybody. I swear I do. I'm like, hey, how you doing? You know, chit chat or whatever the case is. So I don't think I'm intimidating because I do see women out there like that. They, you know, Donovan will say got their fists balled up, screw face. You know, like, don't talk to me. I see women out there like that, but trust me, boo, I ain't one of those type of women at all. Marcella says, I saw a woman. I saw a woman. I saw a young man in the grocery store looking over the vegetables. I told him that if he wants him a real woman, look in her grocery cart. If she have a lot of frozen foods, that means she can't cook. You know what? That's actually a good way to, you know, kind of size somebody up before you approach them. What she got in her cart? She got Zuzus and Wham Whams and frozen processed foods and a bunch of sodas and no nutrients in there. Then yeah, she probably gonna kill you early, but by how she cooks. So absolutely.
And ladies, I mean, you know, I know, you know, a lot, you know, JJ, whoever his name is, he's all cute, got the, you know, thing, and he's got the swag, got the nice clothes and everything like that. But then when you need something done in the house, he doesn't know how to do it. He's going to pay somebody, a Hector, most likely to do it. You guys want to find a man that's good with his hands? Just go and stand in front of the Lowe's or the Home Depot. And that tells you one of two things. The man can either work with his hands or he has his house.
Miss Sweet Talks, you say, I don't have a man husband because I talk too much. Okay. He says, agreed. The lighter paperback, quote unquote, skin color gives me some advantages. Yeah, I'd imagine so. Because, you know, we do unfortunately live in a, you know, colorist society. So I can see that. And Soto, he says, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. You say you want the black as can be, the blacker the beautiful. And Kels, if I did I say hello to you? But if I didn't, how you doing? It says genuinely nice. And Miss Sweet Talk says, Demetria, I'm visiting Houston soon. Let's go to Alley Cat Bar. What's that? Is it? Do they got? Would they allow Hellcats up in there? Cause I'm a Hellcat. Okay, I'm just kidding. I don't know why I'm obsessed with those cars, but I am. And Common Man says, no, you aren't, Demetria. I just have never met you. If I met you, match. All right now. Cosmo says, the most attractive men and women I see are brown skin. You know, for me, I'm attracted to all hues of, you know, men. But I really like to be attracted to your mindset because looks fade. I mean, hell, especially when we get older, you can try your best to hold on to the cuteness, but eventually you're going to be defeated. So what do you have inside? That's what matters.
Let me add to this, you guys. Let me give you a perspective of the type of guys. Like Demetria will date all kinds of spectrums, but her baby daddy was Big Daddy Kane's little brother. Okay.
That damn near the color of this cup. Fine. I mean, I'm like the spitting image of Big Daddy Kane. Can dance and everything. Fine. Let me stop. That was so long ago. Going back down memory lane. Marcella says, how long did you know your ex-husband? We knew each other for about 3 years. Now, and I've told the story many times, but he really wanted to get married. And I really didn't want to because I knew who he was. But, you know, I thought, okay, well, maybe if we get married, he gonna act right. No, he acted worse. Mind you, he was a truck driver. When I tell you this, whew, my God, that's all I could say. I'm sure he's hopefully he's doing all right now. I've been talking to the guy in maybe 7 years, 8 years. It's been a while. So Simone says it means she's busy, not necessarily that she can't cook. Yeah, that could be true too, but I'm one of those people too. Like, what's in your basket? You know, you got a bunch of processed stuff up in there, more death than life. You know, if that woman is cooking for her family, she's doing them a disservice. You know, I saw a study too today that said eating is it over processed food or processed food in general, it's going to cause you to have heart attacks and strokes a lot sooner than predicted. So it's crazy.
Did you see the report in regards to McDonald's where like a Happy Meal in some parts of the country is like $18 and stuff? And they're saying because the prices are so astronomical, they've gone up 200 something percent since the early 2000s, right? The prices of a Big Mac meal. And McDonald's is complaining now because the prices are so astronomical, it's getting rid of their customer base because nobody can reasonably afford it. Remember back in the day, you can go to McDonald's for $3, get a nice home meal and call it a day. Now it's getting so unaffordable. And that's what's happening with a lot of these corporations. They're going to price themselves out of customer-based markets.
Yeah, this guy was saying, he says, if I take my children to the McDonald's, it's $40. But back in the day, you could get a Happy Meals. They had specials for $1.
Yeah, the dollar menu. They got rid of the dollar menu, all that stuff.
Yeah, now you're not going out to no fast food restaurant, especially if you're going with a few people and eating under, $50. It's just expensive. So it's better to try to eat at home as much as possible. I'm one of those people, like if I eat out, I try to eat out at restaurants. Like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I try to. Simone says, and Jay says, it's about mind hunching. What's that? Simone says, everybody doesn't hoard when they shop for groceries. That's true. I'm one of those people. I don't buy a bunch of stuff at once, just kind of what we need. And I see Cosmo said judging the grocery cart is weird. It can be. If you're thinking about going up to that woman or man, because if you see a man like that, it's not just for a woman. He like to eat a bunch of junk. You want to be careful who you lay down with in that aspect as well. Somebody who is full of junk, I'm going to just leave it at that. Michelle, how you doing? Says most people mess up something good by looking for something better only to end up with something worse. Only reason why I don't spin around in this chair is because I don't have a lot of room. But yes, that's usually the case, right? They go out there chasing, as my mom used to say, people think the grass is greener on the other side, but when they get over there, it's just some bullshit. Honestly. So let's see here. Skip on down. Walter says, dang, Ray, what's going on with you? I'm coming your way in a couple of days. Yeah, Miss Sweets. He's Big Daddy Kane, tall, dark, and handsome. Yes, dark chocolate. Marcella says, I hear women say that they can do it all. If she has all that frozen and she does in her basket to feed her family, then you cannot do it all. Yeah, I mean, some frozen stuff, I guess, every once in a while. But if that's all you got up in your freezer and you busting out in the pans, yeah, you might want to, go on YouTube and see how to cook some fresh stuff, how to chop a salad or something, Alonzo, he says, hey, Demetra, Big Daddy Kane came to Augusta, Georgia. He had a thing for my woman. I got her. Okay, now. Yeah, Big Daddy Kane, he still got it. And he liked my comment on Instagram the other day. I was like, go ahead. Cool Breeze, he says, when you get older, you won't have anything left but conversation. I agree with you, Demetri. Yeah, you got that. Like, what's all this fades? What we talking about, boo? When we, 60, 70, what we talking about? Because surely, unless we look like, got Dolly Parton surgeon, and no shade to Dolly. I think she's a wonderful woman. I really do. We're probably going to be sagging a little bit, wrinkled, boobs. You're going to be playing soccer with them and stuff, And, man, y'all got your things that sag and drag too. What are we talking about after that? Ain't going to be able to expend your little 2 minutes of fun forever. You could try. But what are we talking about after all that is said and done? Do we even like each other outside of the bed? Most people don't. If it was not for the bedroom, they wouldn't even get along, And Zerai, how you doing? Long time no see. He said that McDonald's thing was real. I thought that was a meme. Now, I was listening to NPR yesterday, and I heard them talking about the cost of food and things like that. And they talked about McDonald's not being as economically sound, I guess, inexpensive, I guess, as it used to be. And the man said, yeah, I can't. If I take my children, I think he said he had like 3 or whatever to McDonald's and his wife, it's a $40 ordeal. When you go to fast food, you want to get the 2 for 1, 4 for 4, or whatever.
Remember the 25-cent hamburgers on Wednesdays?
Right. And that's what the other thing they said too. They said they're charging more for the stuff and you're getting less. Like the product is smaller now. So might as well really just eat at home.
Well, think about when you just said smaller, Demetra. When we were in Japan, Demetra was amazed at the portions that they were served in the restaurants.
Yeah.
You have no chance of overeating over there.
No, I was like, ooh, don't come over here. If you're greedy, don't do it. You're going to be hungry. But then mentally, you just adjust, right? You're not going to get no, because over here, the hamburgers are like as big as your head, right? Over there, they're like that small. So you don't eat it all too fast because you're going to be hungry. And they give you like 8 French fries. It's like, they're like, bigger fries, but still 8 French fries. Over here, we get 80.
You're like this. Demetra and her daughter were in 7-Eleven and the other store. Every chance they got, they stopped at 7-Eleven.
Right. And I had to come back here and rearrange my understanding. Okay, Miss Sweet Talks. I saw that it said some, I guess, girl talking to a guy. She asked him, or he said,
ridiculous.
He gonna send her money, cash app her some lunch. He cashed out her $30.
She wanted 100, right? She wanted 100. She thought 100 was minimum. That's what I'm saying. The delusion of these younger girls. Where are they getting this stuff from? I mean, are they not looking at the economy and what is going on here? If we're at the bottom of the economy in general, how do they expect a young black man to just throw $100 out for lunch? It's crazy.
He better than me. I would have emailed Cash App and said my account was hacked. I need that money back. That's what I would have said. Yeah, but you can't find nothing to eat for $30. Where you think you should be eating at? You probably ain't no $100 meal, but on your own. But yeah, you want this man that you're getting to know to front you a $100 meal. He ain't sitting down eating with you.
Right. He's at work and she probably sending her the Cash App, and she's like, "Oh, that ain't good enough." And this is the stuff, Demetra, what's really funny, and some of you ladies in the chat that have sons, it's amazing to me when you talk to women that have sons, and as a man, it's like, I'm complaining, right? Oh, this ain't right, this ain't right. Mothers that have sons agree. But then the mothers that don't have sons are like, well, yeah, that's right. He cheat. He should be giving her $100. That ain't no big deal. It's just amazing to me how when women have sons, they want their sons to be treated fairly. And men have been asking, treat us fairly. And then the women that are just that other ilk of women, because most women are not of that ilk, even though that's what's represented in the media. They come up with this BS, but what kills me, ladies, is you guys aren't saying nothing to correct these women. That's the problem.
I mean, I don't know that lady, so I'm not gonna say nothing to her. That's her mama's job, but then she probably learned that from her mama. I can only, like I said, influence the ladies, the young ladies that are around me. Can't influence the world. But yeah, I don't know where that expectation comes from, that a man should give her $100. Like, what's wonderful about you that I'm a Cash App you $100 to eat? I don't even know if I like you yet. I don't even know if you're worthy of a bologna sandwich. But see, the other thing is, did she ask him to send the money, or did he send it to her? Did he say, "Hey, I'm going to buy you lunch"? That's why you need to get to know a person to know if they're worthy of that. Some people ain't worthy of $30. So I think he got his answer about her. It cost him $30 for her to never darken his doorstep ever again. So I think he came out actually on the cheap end, right? Those says they eating in Dollar Tree, but the prices are going up. Yeah, it ain't Dollar Tree no more. What, $1.53 or something like that?
I think it's $1.39 if you go in there, with the tax. I think it's like $1.25, but with the tax, like $1.39.
Right. By the time you come up out of there and spend the whole $1,000. Thunder says for $30, Gertrude can make some okra, tomato, corn, sausage over rice, and some peach cobbler. Don't forget the cornbread. I know that's right. See, that's a savvy woman right there. A woman that know how to cook for a man. I'll tell you right now, any man that know that I would, they would tell you, Demetra never brought home bags of fast food for them to eat. I always cooked. That's my thing. I like doing that. But unfortunately, they fumble every time. Pretty soon I'm gonna get too old and I ain't gonna be wanting to cook. Be like, how that air tasting, boo? And Quita, how you doing? Says the same way they throw money at strippers. Uh-oh. Thunder says buy some hamburger meat, turn it into Salisbury steak. Absolutely. Jay says real men don't go to strip clubs. Donovan.
Real men don't go to strip clubs. Who said that?
A man.
Hey, I'm gonna say this, okay? I respect his opinion, but don't judge me because I support single mothers. I'm just saying.
Yes, Simone, cube steak is what you use. I guess maybe people could try to do it out of a hamburger, but yeah, cube steak, it actually it's put together a little bit more. Hamburger will probably come apart. Probably would more or less end up like a ground beef. Let's see here. Thunder says some of you ladies need to go half price books, get a couple of cookbooks, just like Godfather Kevin Samuel says. Yeah, cookbooks are nice, but I mean nowadays you could go get a cookbook, you can go on YouTube. You know, I don't know. I watch my mom and my grandmother cook, both of them. My daughter's father, I didn't have to cook for him because he's a chef. He did all the cooking, so I was lucky in that. And I learned, some things from him as well. But yeah, it's Google is free. You shouldn't be talking about I don't know how to cook. Go on there and follow the directions.
Well, let me say this disclaimer. If you go to Google and whatever, most likely you're going to get that seasonless soup recipe that has no flavor and stuff. Because in our community, recipes were passed down to the women, via their parents teaching them how to do it, and it's always kept up here. Yeah, you had the recipe that was put in the cookbook thing that was put away in case you forgot it for some reason, that recipe that's handed down. But just be mindful, if you're going to Google a recipe off of a thing, it might not taste like grandma or mom's cooking, especially with the seasoning part. Because I did that one time like years ago, and I was like, there's no salt to this. There was no flavor. I was like, oh my God.
I made some cookies a couple months ago off of the internet. I was like, hey, this wasn't it, but I'm one of those people, I don't usually cook with recipes. I just kind of, I know like the bases and then, let the ancestors tell me what to do, I guess. Common Man, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. You say, Demetria, Master G, the Sugar Hill Gang tried to take my woman back in the day. To make a long story short, she had my daughter, who's 43 years old now. Don't play me, okay? Look at all these stories we got going on. Let's see, I don't do. Yeah, I dated somebody famous for a short spell. I won't tell you who they are though. Marcella, you say you remember them fried bologna sandwiches and that government cheese, and you cook it. Damn, that was good. Yeah, that was that you had to do type of meal, right? Fried bologna sandwiches. My daughter's father said he would take them to school and sell them. He a hustler. Lady Diana says, if I had a date someday, he is going to eat good at my house, not eating out. I know that's right. You said you haven't eaten out since 2020. That is amazing. Amazing. Quita says, so what do you tell the men chefs that could cook? Get out of the kitchen since women need cookbooks. Nah, my daughter's father, he's a chef. He did all the cooking and I did all the eating. Yes, I did. And Brother Jonell, how you doing? You say, peace, Queen, Brother Donovan and fam. People are not honest. Relationships are not solid. Majority built on lies and not truth. Another pandemic or something similar will bring about changes in most relationships. The reason why we're here in truth can you stand the rain? Yeah, we saw that with the pandemic, right? It just shook a lot of people loose. They're like, I don't like you after all. I didn't know I was going to have to spend as much time with you, in a house like that. So you're absolutely right. I think something else is coming as well.
Yeah, no, I agree with that because as a military member and a pilot, when I was dating my wives or girlfriends, whoever I was dating at the time, when I'm in and out, life was great. But then when I started staying home, then then you're like, I gotta go. It's crazy. But the old saying, fondness makes the heart grow, distance makes the heart grow fonder. That's not true. That's not true. Not in the modern age.
I think in some cases, but yeah, nowadays, because too you have access to everybody, you can see them on their page, social media. It's like, well, I don't really miss you because I see you all the time. Back in the day, not so much. Thunder says, fortunately, I know how to cook many different types of food: soul food, Mexican food, Creole food, and I can make all types of dessert from scratch. Go ahead. I know Gertrude and them are very happy with you. One who cares. He says, follow Chef Jeffrey. He'll get those who struggle with cooking. Okay. All right. So let me skip down. I'm actually supposed to be transitioning to another subject. I almost forgot. Jay say Demetra left that famous dude when he said, baby, let's go to Diddy's now. He wasn't, I don't think he's ever been to Diddy's. I mean, he might have later on, but yeah, no. Cosmo says eating out is a convenience. Sometimes you don't feel like cooking. If you can't afford it, do it. Yeah. If you can't afford it, it's not every once in a while, it's not going to hurt you, right? But some people, they do it breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's like, golly, your arteries don't hate you yet. Yanni, how you doing? And CG, how are you doing this evening? It says 21-year marriage is not easy, but it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. But nowadays, people, they see something and they get distracted and they just relationship hop, so it's unfortunate. But anyway, all right, so let's get to this next one here. I saw this and the question that came to my mind was, are fathers able to influence their daughters anymore? So as soon as it comes up, okay, here we go. It's not a long clip. It's very short, actually. And I muted it, for YouTube's sake. So here, let's see. All right. Okay, here we go. It's very short.
Demetra, was that your dad?
I'll play it again so y'all can see it.
Oh, absolutely not. A military dad? Oh, absolutely not. And that one, that was his wife. And that was his wife.
Was it his wife?
Yeah, that was his wife in that one.
Okay, so, well, on the premise of a dad's only job is to, oops. Walter, did you see that?
That's the reason I jumped in. That's the reason I jumped in.
So it says a dad's only job is to stay on constant thought patrol. I think Chris Rock said a dad's job is to keep his daughter off the pole or whatever. But when I saw that, I wondered, do fathers have that type of influence over their daughters anymore?
They should, seriously. In all seriousness, a good example recently with Fannie Willis's father. Do you see she had to hide her relationship because she had her dad in such esteem and all that other stuff, that side relationship. The dad only knew about that one guy, the DJ guy. But here she is, he's finding out through the courts, his daughter's tricking off and doing all this other stuff on the side. Because again, I do believe a father and daughter relationship is a very sacred relationship, especially if the father is involved with his daughter like that. And the look on some of that one black guy's dead, that's what you're supposed to do.
He looked like he wanted to snatch a knot in her.
Yes.
Let me get to some of these comments, and then Walter, I'm going to get your interpretation of do fathers have influence over their daughters like that anymore? Quita says, Donovan, you were used to being in and out. That's why Common Man says the pandemic changed a lot of stuff. Yes, it did. Brother Jonell said, everyone loves the sunshine, but the truth is in the storm. Your real partner manifests in adversity. Come on now. Not in the sex. Hard trials is necessary to establish the truth. People are chasing the quickie, the easy, not the growth and development. You said a word right there. Yes, indeed. A different view. How you doing? Okay, and I see everybody laughing. Yeah, Cosmo, you say no class. Common Man says traditional families, yes. Unwed mother families, no. But I'm asking specifically, does the father have influence over his daughters like that anymore? Right? And Thunder says, I saw she stopped the moment she realized her dad was looking. At least she had respect to stop. These other women that have kept going on, her dad looked like he was going to really do something awful to her. One who cares says, oh, not my dad or stepfather would have pulled my coattail ASAP. Yep. Jay says the black man just gave that look. Yeah, it scared me. I ain't gonna lie. Thunder says, I believe they should, and some do. And Brother Donnell says, no real man is striving to raise his daughter in whoredom. I would hope not, right? And Simone says he was also married. Okay. And Ragnar says that's a very good question. I wonder. Yeah, I thought about that too. Can a father nowadays command that type of you better get your together? Can he do that nowadays?
Well, Walter's a father of a daughter, so daughter. So he's shaking his head already.
I'm gonna ask him just a second. Michelle says they only promote our culture when it comes to our culture. Shaking my head, but there was a white woman up there too. So all fairness, there was a white woman in that particular thread or whatever it was. Soto says, yeah, not my daughter. That reminds me of the black father who gave his daughter the look at the wedding and she humbly walked away. Yeah, that was the one I think right there. Mike says only in front of them. Common Man says, and he was Black Panther. What the F? Sagittarius got us. How you doing? And Alonzo says fathers are usually men that remain closely involved with their daughters' lives. Those ties aren't easily severed, as close as mothers and sons. I agree with you. Common Man says original Black Panthers are very conservative. Jay says a man wants to see his baby girl moving like that because it would break or doesn't rather. I think what you meant. Yeah, because it break your heart. So I'm gonna get have this conversation with Walter. I'm gonna be seeing your comments, but I might not be reading them. So Walter, the question is do fathers have influence over their daughters anymore like that?
I think behaving like that, they should. I mean, that's the reason just to whoop ass. I mean, I think that's worth going to jail over. My kids will tell you, I rolled up with my daughter in junior high school, like hugging a dude. I was standing in the corner like 10 minutes, just ready to act a fool. But the crazy part is, what do if they'll do that in front of their father, what will they do when he is not around? That's what he need to be asking them. I mean, and you said something about it's not just the sisters, it's the white girl. I think from what I saw, I really think I see more of that in white women, just from my experience. Man, we call a white girl drunk. And you go to Vegas, I mean, sisters will act up too, but I've seen white women take it to the next level. No one party like a white woman.
You ain't lying.
I tell you, boy. Ooh, I'd be like, girl, I can't kick it with you.
Yeah, did you guys hear about those white women in Jamaica with that false allegation that they put out there?
And whatever happened with that?
The Jamaican authorities are asking them to redo their story or come and tell us, because we've got videotape. They want to match it up, and those women went silent.
So they was lying. They was out there. They was married, by the way, out there getting with
from Kentucky.
Right, brother man and them having a good old time, and then they concocted a story talking about they was assaulted or whatever. But the Jamaican authorities like, no, you wasn't. Y'all willingly got off of that boat.
Okay, first of all, they go down. If your woman's going to Jamaica with a bunch of her girlfriends, I was watching this guy today. He was like, you need to pack her shit. Like, come on, man, this is 2024. You don't tell me you going down to Jamaica and you need a bunch of your girlfriends, man. Anyways,
women could go on girls trips and actually have a girl trip without doing anything, salacious. That's possible.
I ain't never seen it. Once alcohol gets introduced, people lose their mind.
I mean, I went on a girls trip last year and nothing too bad happened. No.
Well,
I'm usually, when I go on girls trip, I'm usually the one that's like, okay, I'm going to head out. It's past my bedtime.
Yeah, but Demetria, when you go on girls trip, the women are averaging about 73, 74 years old.
Well,
right. Is that the sun setting? All right, it's time for me to go to bed.
I don't know. I think as a father, you need to be able to do that. I mean, trying to talk to your kids these days is harder with social media and the liberals, and you can't spank my kid and this. some of that stuff has gone too far. But when you something like that, I just think you have to just, how can you be judged for like that black dude, the first dude? That's how every father needs to be.
Oh, he scared me.
Yeah. You know, and the kids that they don't have fear. I told one of my friends, I said, you need to whoop his ass, go out there. I'm not really for whooping a kid, but sometimes they need it. Man, go get you a wooden paddle. My principal at my kid's school said, take a wooden spoon to the booty. My kids will tell you that to this day. I had a wooden spoon just sitting on the counter. They need, it's funny. It's like every other thing, like religion, the tax man, we fear Donald Trump, black people. We fear everything else. Wouldn't it be okay to fear your parents? And I really think we've gotten away from that. You know, well, I can do what I want. Well, I'm an adult. I've never to this day talked to my mom or dad, not even remotely like that. Never even crossed my mind. So, because I was afraid of my parents, not out of a negative way. I was just afraid of, you know, not doing what they said. And that just carried on until I was an adult. Not the fear, but the responsibilities, the behavior set in place when I was younger. So now I don't have to be afraid of them. I just know this just what I'm supposed to be doing.
The respect factor falls into it, and where you associate it with.
Right. And not because my parents act a certain way, or my father or my mom had to behave a certain way for me to be respectful. I ain't talking about that woke crap. Well, my parents, I don't know, they could have done better. Shut your ass up and have some kids, and then talk to me in 10 years. I tell you, I got grandkids. I be sitting at the table just, I can tell you.
And my man Titus is running the whole show.
Oh, man, I was like, go ahead, whoop his ass, man. My son Titus scratched his father in the face. I said, you better than me. But we've gotten to the point where it's hard to tell kids stuff. But it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Like I have a friend, her son did $50,000 worth of damage to the school. Breaking windows, graffiti.
Why?
She went to spank him and he took the belt from her, started laughing. I said, you know what the problem is? The father ain't here. And the father abandoned the kids. So the kids, he might as well just jump off something tall. His life is over. But when you take the father, and I'm not going to turn this a father's thing, but when you take the pops out of the picture, it's a wrap. Even if you had the father that just worked all damn day, but got home at 7 or 8 and you knew you had to be acting right or it was going down, even that is powerful enough. Imagine this. Imagine seeing every home with a man going into the house. I ain't talking about creeping. A man going into the house that lives there, going in and coming out every day. Or just having a man in the house. You don't have to be the perfect man. You know, like the person I'm dating now, she got 2 daughters. Lord help me. I said never would I ever do that. But I noticed from just having a man around that their attitudes and things have changed and adjusted. And I'm not the father. How's that go? You are not the father. I'm clearly not the father. But I can see even just from being there, from like getting the trash and saying, no, don't do that. Like one time I was like, yo, your mom said this, it's a wrap. I don't want to hear it again. You know what I'm saying? Even that has power. And you can steer kids. So I really think we need to get back to maybe and maybe women ask your man to come back, not into your life and date, but just, I think we need to be aggressive. You know, hey, brother, we need you. We don't have to love each other, but we need you around here. I really think that would go a long way.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this generation, you know, and I've said this a long time ago, we have to take them by force. Now, I'm not saying we got to beat them, but you really got to let them know I'm the boss, okay? Like you said, your friend whose son, you know, tore up the school, $50,000 worth of damage, he should have already thought, damn, if I even break a pencil up in here, I ain't supposed to be breaking, it's going to be on and cracking when I get home. But see, he knew once he got home that he was still going to be the boss, right? And a lot of times parents raise their children, you know, they're the boss. If I say something to him, he going to be mad, or I can't say something to him, or he going to be mad, or I'm just going to, you know, give him the tablet or the phone and get tiptoe around him. We don't want to disturb little Mikey or Michael Myers, right? Or nothing like that. But I will say, as a 52-year-old woman, that'll be 53 next month, I have a healthy fear and respect of my dad, who will be 80 years old tomorrow. I'll always tell people that if my dad tell me something, all right, okay. It's not you. I'm grown. Because I know the next time you see me, there's probably going to be some understanding and rearranging going on. So, but I never even think to say, you can't tell me what to do. I'm grown. I would never, when I say never, I would never do anything like that around my dad. I wouldn't want him to see me in that light at all. Donovan, you remember, it was a friend of ours. Remember we first started doing that podcast. I ain't going to say her name. But it was me, you, and I think it was two other gentlemen there. And she was saying she lived at home with her father. She's like in her 20s. She says, me and my father get into it because he doesn't like that I walk around the house in my panties. And Donovan and the rest of the fellas were shook, like. And so I let her speak and everything. I said, if your dad is telling you that is inappropriate, I said, that is inappropriate. And I said, why does he have to tell you that's inappropriate? I said, why would you put your dad in that position to see his daughter that way and then have to correct you on that? And then you going to stand up in the man's house and tell him ain't nothing wrong with that. I said, and your daddy shouldn't have to get you. Your mama should have got you. I said, but just you telling she, was like 20. So I'm probably half her age at that point.
Yeah. I think she was 23 at that time.
But I said, hearing that as a woman, I said, that is inappropriate. I said, don't ever have your daddy see you like that again. I said, you need to ask yourself why you think your dad should have to see you walking around his house like that. And then she says, I didn't think about it that way. And it's like, who raising these kids? I would never even want my dad to see me that way. But you arguing with your daddy like, what's wrong? What's the problem? Donovan and the other guys were like, oh my God. What? But as Donovan said, I didn't sit there and say, well, girl, he just needs to deal with it. Your daddy, is he a pervert or something? Because a lot of women would have said that. Well, why he looking at you like that anyway? He used to change your diapers. But I was like, oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. That is inappropriate. So thank you, Brother Todd. I will tell him. He said, happy birthday. Yeah, he's 8. He will not let me forget. I'll be 80 years old. There's a lot of people who won't live to see 80 years old. I'm like, yep, you're right, Daddy. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him. Okay, so let me ask some questions here. Let's see. Brother Samuel said, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. My dad used to say in our God, and God is all of our God, our Father which art in heaven, an elevated place. Yes, indeed. Anais, how you doing? He says, my dad was around and married to my mom. That makes a big difference as well. Michelle says, grown women are not acting ratchet like the media promotes. Most brothers are trying to do the right thing. I totally agree with you. I can't remember the last time I've gone anywhere and seen sisters bending over and twerking. I agree. If I've ever been in a club setting, which was a long time ago, it's usually the white girls. Woo!
Yeah, the white girls, from my experience, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to turn this into a race thing, but
can y'all two answer this question after you answer that?
I wasn't the person I was talking about. He's a white man. Actually, he's from England. They're from London. It's a white dude. I was talking about. Men in general leave their kids. It ain't just black men. And you guys, black men did not leave their kids until the 60s. In the 20s, 40s. You look it up. If you follow the brother, what's his name? It's Thomas Sowell. You look it up. The nuclear family was intact until the civil rights movements and all that crap. So that was not something that black men did a lot of. It wasn't a thing. And so, the civil rights movement. So, and I don't know why people leave their kids now. I say, oh, I hate the mama. You can hate the mama and be with your kids. And anybody knows my kids' mama know I hate the mama. Period. It ain't even a secret. I tell my kids to their face, I hate the mama. but I love my kids. You know, and there was a time sometimes I would back off the kids a little bit because I didn't want to deal with her. But regardless of, I mean, I don't see abandoning your kids. I don't get it. Like just saying, you know what, I'm done with you guys. Peace. Your mom was crazy. That's not an excuse. So I hope it's not more black men. I hope it's not any man doing it. So, and I know a lot of black men that are good fathers.
Yeah.
I don't know I'm trying to think of what brother I know that's not. Well, I mean, you attract who you are too. So maybe that's it. But
and let me read this comment, man. Thank you so much for the donation once again. Love and appreciate you. Says, back in the day, my father went to work at 5 o'clock every morning and came home at 5:30 every afternoon. We were told the teacher is the parent when we were in school. Yep. That was the
Yeah, my mom used to say that's her representative.
Right. Donovan, what you got to say about that?
Well, like Cosmos, who asked the question there, which is a good question. And Cosmos, in another comment, she says, I learned in college to question all stats. As a teacher, 85% of my black students have deadbeat dads. The mom is working and doing her best. See, now that's a subjective thing to say because you don't know what all those men are doing. So why are you calling all of those guys deadbeat dads? I asked you for a source of where you're getting your information, and you don't have to give it to me. Like I said, we're just having a conversation. But I gave you a CDC study from 2014 that says that black men spend more time with their children than any other group. And that's factual. That is factual. We might not put them in a nice house. We might not give them all the toys they want. But when it comes to spending time with their children, black men are the most involved with their children, regardless of our status. Not all black men. We're not saying all, but we're saying compared to other groups, black men are more involved, and that was from a CDC study.
And Cosmo, yeah, that's actually true. Black men are the most involved with their children than any man here in the United States. You say black male invented the baby mama, so stop it. That is not true either. I love you, but it's not true. The original deadbeat baby daddy is that massa that was on that plantation that went up into the slave woman against her will and planted babies in her and made whoever she was with. And I say that because we know that they were not allowed to get married. Sometimes they sold their husbands off, they jumped the room, so they weren't legally married. So that man was left to raise that slave master's baby. So he is the original deadbeat baby daddy, making black women, slave women, baby mamas. That was not ubiquitous, if you will, amongst black people until we got in contact with them people. So I think we should give that proper context.
Ooh, Lord have mercy. I think black men are more affectionate toward their kids, for sure. I mean, and the cultures are just different. Like I have a lot of friends, my white friends, they tend to be more standoffish and more like, like, you good? Got what you need? Okay. If you need me, I'll be over here. You know what I'm saying? And my Indian friends, it's a whole different conversation. My Asian friends, Lord have mercy. Everybody functions a different way. I think the black man is most affectionate. And I've had multiple women tell me of different races that black men are the most affectionate. They're the most, I'm dating a girl with kids and she's like, my kids love you. Like, she's like, my daughter calls you the genius. You know what I'm saying? Like on and on and on. I think black men are more affectionate. Black men, if you do not believe that, then talk to a white woman or Mexican woman who
the patriarchy is real in that environment.
Yeah, she didn't have her black man her whole life. Now she has access to one. So I think we just, as a race, we need to regroup and revisit, who we are to each other.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of components to it. In the 70s, after the 60s, the movie Claudine kind of gave a small portion of what was happening. Again, when you're at the bottom of the social and economic scale in the United States, housing's hard to come by. The government put these rules, democratic, by the way, that was a democratic policy, put these rules in where the man can't be in the home. So sometimes, if you really think about our grandparents and stuff, think about it. I'm a poor sharecropper, I'm a poor guy, whatever. I'm down in the South or wherever I'm from, and I don't make enough to support my children. And so it would be better for my children to go on government assistance and government housing so that they can live, and I have to be separated from them, even though I can visit and stuff. I mean, you got to think about that. That's a portion of it. you also got to think about the portion of marriage today. A lot of women are leaving their marriages, and men too, but mostly women. 80% of all divorces are filed by women, are leaving their marriages because they're bored or whatever. How is a man a deadbeat if the woman decided to leave the relationship based on whatever? She's leaving. So that's a small part of it. The child support system, as we know today. How is the child support system fair to the man if they're taking his license away, they're taking his driving thing away, they're taking everything? And I'm not trying to make excuses, but I'm telling you, these are small components that would make women think men are deadbeats. But stop. Let's do a little logic here. If you're living in government housing, that's not your house. A man, if he's sleeping on a park bench, that is better than living off taxpayer assistance. But a lot of women think because they get a government house, oh, these men need to level up and get their own homes and stuff like that. You don't have your own home. And we're seeing what's happening with the migrants as they're displacing people out of the government homes and replacing them with the migrants because they don't own those homes. That's where we're at. So government has a small part of the what would you say it? The illusion that black men are all deadbeats and all this other stuff in the media and all this other Tyler Perry movies that women believe. We take this stuff and we project. Matter of fact, I would say 75% of black women who believe men are deadbeats and all this other stuff have never even dated a man that was a deadbeat. This is all projection. I talk to so many women that say, oh yeah, men are so abusive. And I would ask them, have you ever been in an abusive relationship? Oh, hell no, ain't no man gonna put his hands on me. Then what are you talking about? If you've never been in an abusive, what are you talking about? But they take that on like it's something that happened to them. And that's another big problem and a misconception. So black men are the most involved with their children.
I think the other thing too, before Walter, you say something, I think we got to bring manipulation into the conversation as well, because a person can I think we've all at one point in time somewhere, no matter how big or small it was, been mislabeled something because a person simply couldn't get their way with us, right? I didn't give you your way, so I said that you was this, or I said that you was that. You did this and that to me. It's like, oh, you just couldn't get your way with me. That don't mean I'm a bad person. I don't mean I'm a deadbeat. I just was not going to acquiesce with what you wanted. And what you wanted might not have been something I could give you or something that was necessary. But sometimes you deal with people who are a little bit on the spoiled side. And so if I can't get my way, then I'm going to manipulate you or everybody else to make them think that you are something you are not. So.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And then I'm going to step in some muddy water, but I'm just going to do it. Last night I was watching Tyler Perry, Why Did I Get Married? And I've seen it like 3 times, but now that I'm more like educated and I feel like I'm more, sophisticated as a person, I'm just watching this movie and I'm dissecting it. And I'm like, man, these men they're punks. Even Tyler Perry's role, where he's begging his woman, baby, please spend some time with me. Baby, please. I'm like, they're all bitches. I'm like, except, Tyler Perry, they take, the dude that they make appear, he's on the lowest on the totem pole financially, make him the best guy. I mean, I don't care if you're taking our
That was the one that did Sheila dirty, made Sheila drive up the damn mountain.
Like, ain't nobody treating a woman that bad. But, I saw another movie, I Can Do Bad by Myself. But there was the bald-headed brother that played in Drumline, dragged his wife out that, man, ain't nobody treating a woman like that. I mean, maybe it happens, but that's rare. But it's hard to turn on the TV and see a black man being portrayed in a positive light. Like I tried to watch First Wives Club. Oh man, Lord have mercy. I wanted to cut my throat after watching a couple episodes. Every man in that show almost is a bitch. And it blows me away. And I really think that started from back during the civil rights movements where, hey, I don't need you. I don't need a man, so I got it from here. And black women, sometimes you guys could be very aggressive. It is what it is. Black women, sometimes y'all can be cold to a brother when we really just need to loosen up a little bit and understand like what's happening between the black man and woman. This was created by design. This was the 60s. It was, we're going to give these women money. We're going to get rid of the man. When you take the man out of the home, the race breaks down. Period. That's the strategy that we can never compete with.
Right. And then now the strategy is get to the young black women. And since the black woman is the center of the community, you destroy the center of the community. Look at what these young girls are doing now. They're now objectifying themselves. They're all becoming sex workers. Not all of them, but a lot of them are becoming sex workers. You destroyed the black community through the woman. Once you get to her, it's a wrap. Pound Town. I mean, come on, ladies. You got young people talking about my booty hole is brown.
Oh,
blah,
stop.
blah, 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 blah.
Come
You know
on.
what I mean? It's crazy. It's just crazy. But it's all by design. All of this is by design. They're not doing that to the other communities. Demetra says it all the time. Where is the sexy reds in the Hispanic community? Where is the sexy reds in the white community? Where are these people? You don't see it.
Well, yeah, it's funny. You said sexy red, and somebody sent me a video of Kamala Harris at the White House party playing sexy red.
So she really was.
Yeah, they was in there. Man, that shit was a deep joint. I tell you.
I wonder what song it was.
I don't even know. And they, who? I'm like, fool, you in the White House. Come on, man. Listen. We have a long ways to go. One thing we could do is we could start maybe loosening up and being a little bit nicer to each other. Because I know I haven't been the nicest as I can to any woman. I'm trying to be better. But we could be nicer to each other. Like, for instance, I've got 3-4 black women that I spend time with. I don't date, but they're just in my life. You know, I have a couple friends, and every single one of them have the same exact story. Same story. And one of them, 2 of them, I met, we were going to like kind of date, and then I made dinner for each one of them, and they went on and on and on. I was like, whoa, girl, I'm making you dinner. This is a cool environment. You bringing all that shit to the table. Leave that drama alone. Don't be having me call you. Let's not set a date and then something come up. I said, you're used to that abuse. You know, so sometimes we need to just loosen up a little bit. If you have a good brother in your life, give him a chance. You got to leave the old baggage at the curb. And I'm
loving the conversation in the chats. You guys are really, conversating really, really well. I mean, a lot of information being passed there.
Yeah, I'm looking at the comments as well.
I mean, the comment section is always
yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there.
You guys, you know what? And this whole thing about the black man sexualizing women, I don't think black men have that kind of power. Black men don't run media, and the few black men we do.
Wait, before you say that, I'm glad that one of y'all said it. I didn't want to say it, but go ahead.
No, it's true. If you look at like BET, we have how many people we have? We have Robert Johnson, Tyler Perry. We see what he's doing. We know what BET did to the black community. I was with KRS-One in Riverside, and he said we called it bullshit entertainment, like straight up. So that's a few black men. The rest of that stuff is coming from white men, white women, black women. I mean, you guys have control of the narrative. I, as a black man, if I see a sister in the mall and I say, wow, you are really attractive, I have a 70% chance of her looking at me crazy. Period. And I don't know if it's just the negative energy we have toward each other. Because when I see a sister, a black woman, I always speak to her. 100%. I don't care what environment. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And a lot of times they just look at me crazy. So I'm wondering if it's just what they expect from black men, it's what they're seeing on TV. But nevertheless, we don't have power to sexualize a black woman. Because black women, you are in control. If y'all said as a group, no, we're not doing it. And if I see my girlfriend doing it, I'm going to snatch her up. Period. Like Charles Barkley said, if I see a black man wearing a Trump, indictment shirt, I'm going to punch him in the face. You know, we don't have to be a weirdo like Charles Barkley, but you get the point. Sometimes you got to grab your girls. And that's going to take a long time for women to do it, but it needs to be done. Because when we lose the woman, which in my opinion, we already have, society is over. Between that, abortion, the migrants, like black people, you think you got it bad now. Wait until they hit that amnesty button. I guarantee you, Joe Biden, his last act before he dies this year is going to be hitting. Is going to be hitting that amnesty button. I guarantee you, it's going to be like, I mean, they let 20 million people in the country. What do you think they're doing? They're letting these people in the country so they can vote. Like, I don't care, man. I don't know this damn iPhone. I don't know how to work this thing. But I tell you, how do you let all these people in the country, like they're kicking out veterans, they're putting these people up in the Roosevelt Hotel in New York. I've stayed at the Roosevelt in New York. It was a nice hotel. It was. Now it's filled with migrants. And they hear the black people saying, well, we want Trump, the migrants, but are they doing anything about it? Zero. So black people, we need to hurry up. I tell you, man, once they hit that amnesty button on these 20 million migrants, it's going to be a wrap. It's going to be over. And black people, not only we're not getting reparations, I mean, it's about to get ugly.
Well, I kind of disagree with you on that, Walter. The migrants that are invading right now, those aren't the ones we got to worry about because they can't vote, even though he's legalizing them to work. It's the children and the anchor babies that they're going to leave that's going to be competing with our children and our grandchildren. Those are the ones we got to worry about.
Well, I heard, so what I've been hearing some rhetoric from the Democrats about having undocumented voters or people who aren't citizens vote.
Yeah, they recently struck that down. The New York Supreme Court struck that down, and I think Philadelphia did it as well. So but they're still trying, though. So I know where you're going with that.
They put it out there. Okay, we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep doing it sooner or later. Like AOC said, the problem is not the illegal them coming over. The problem is documentation. So if they come over here and we can document them, then they're cool. Like, why else would they spend billions of dollars taking care of these people? And you got, like, I'm in my house in Ontario right now, and Ontario is just turning to shit. I saw a dude boxing a tree, and another lady just laying on the grass with her feet up, just laying in the grass. They're cool, chilling. And, like, no one's doing anything, but you got these migrants coming in here, and the Democrats are saying to your face, we don't care. Not only that, they got these pundits on, like I was listening to Donna Brazile talk about, oh, Joe Biden, he's a man, he's sharp, he can drive a car. And
Donna Brazile, the same woman that cheated and tried to sneak Hillary Clinton.
With Roland Martin.
Yeah, and Roland Martin tried to, cheat during the debates and gave Hillary Clinton the answers ahead of time.
Yeah, let me get started about Roland, tight ass, short wearing, high sock with church shoes ass. But I'm telling you, our answer is more like, we need to start taking care of ourselves. We need to be a little more selfish. Like, yes, you guys were talking about the girl that wants $100 and he sent her 30. Don't send her nothing. Man, that is the most ratchetest thing ever. And if you are next to a woman that will do that to you, what does that say about you? And I'll tell you, I went on a bunch of dates in my life. And I went on a date with this beautiful sister. I met her at the bank. Man, she was bad. Me and my girl broke up. She was so fine. I mean, I was like, whoo, this girl, I was like, I got this. That's going to be me and a sister girl from here on out. Man, with a straight face. On date number 2, she asked me to buy her a $4,000 bracelet. And I said to her, this is why black women have such a bad rap. I said, I don't know if white women do it or Mexican women do it, but I'm sitting here with a black woman. And on date number 2, you asking me for a $4,000 bracelet?
How does she ask?
Oh, no. It started out subtle. She showed me this page. It was like, I really like this bracelet. I was like, I looked at the bartender and like, this is going to be short.
Close my tab.
I was like, we don't even need to order food. And this, I said, I'd have more respect for you if you were asking me for $4,000 as a down payment for an investment that we could get out in. You need to start cutting those people out. And then women and men too, if you're the type of person that's doing that, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. This is this thing called the street. You can walk in front of fast moving traffic, and you could just step in the street and we could just be done with you, because that is what those people deserve. Like, and especially in this time too, like you still are not focused. I don't get how people aren't focused on their financial future right now. Like, all you have to do is turn on Fox News. And if you must do this to yourself, turn on CNN. Actually, Fox is getting kind of weird too. CNN, CBS, ABC, Lord have mercy. When I listen to some of those channels, my ears just bleed. But like, you can watch the news and see what's going on. I know for a fact, if you still eat meat, that it is almost up 30-40% in the store. Vegetables, everything is up in the store. And so we talk about the recession and everything. People don't realize how what inflation does is it eats at your situation little by little. It doesn't just show up and go bam. It starts little by little. Eggs went from $3 to $6. Meat from 6 to 9. And then it just goes on. And then before you know it, you slowly start going into debt. You realize right now foreclosures and credit card defaults are at an all-time high in recent history. Like crazy. I'm at the auto auction and they got a whole 2 rows of all repossessions from Mercedes, like brand new cars, Bentleys, you name it, in the repo section. So it just blows me away that people aren't more concerned with it. I mean, you don't have to be like Mr. Wall Street, but instead of spending $100 at lunch, why don't you put some of that money away? It scares me, guys. It's going to be bad. You think, like, once they start taking care of these migrants, you'll see. Wait till the middle of the year. Once the general election starts heating up, because I believe Joe Biden, he is done. Every single poll, every single news channel has. I was listening to what is it? Not KNX. What is that?
KFI?
No. It's the real what's that? It's not PBS. It's the middle of the road. NPR. And they were saying that Donald Trump is leading in every single exit poll, every poll. The first time in history has a Republican candidate led by this much. In history, in my opinion, the Democrats are going to come out with something wild. You watch, especially Joe Biden. No, he only got like 6 to 9 months to live. So he is, Kamala, I don't know, Kamala, she's Indian, Kamala, she's black, whatever. They know she's not going to be it. So they have something up their sleeve, and it ain't going to be favorable to black people. And I can promise you, it ain't just Mexicans coming in, it's Chinese. I see a lot of Africans coming in. Matter of fact, my Uber driver yesterday was an African dude. Cool brother. And I asked him, I said, why did you come here? And he was from Congo. He goes, 1, this is the greatest country in the world. He goes, 2, the Congo is so jacked up right now from the companies taking the mining and all that stuff. He goes, the Congo is a mess. He goes, I came here with nothing, and now me and my wife have a house. So, and I would just listen to him talk about and he's an Uber driver, and him and his wife bought a house as an Uber driver. So I'm thinking, if he could come over here, and this kind of dispels the whole thing when it comes to black people can't do shit because we were slaves and we systematic racism. You have a guy that came from Africa not too long ago, and him and his wife have jobs and they own a house. And me and him had a long conversation about the stock market, investments, an African Uber driver that just got here. So he's like, he kind of said some things about blacks in America. He was just like, you guys are pretty much spoiled. We in Africa were doing everything in our power to get over here. You guys have it made and you're not using it.
But you know, the only pushback, one of the only pushbacks I have about that is they say that we're spoiled, we got it made, and this, that, and the other, and they come over and kick ass. It's like, why you can't do that where you at?
Because they don't have what we have here. Because Africa has foreign nationals digging up the dirt, digging in the land.
Yeah, but that's more their home front than it is ours. I mean,
they have more of an advantage because they have people that look like them, right?
Right. But Africans don't have power. If you are African in Africa, you don't have power. You have the African. But
then they come over here talking about they getting some power. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
well, they have power over here. He was telling me in Congo, if you speak out, next day they just won't be able to find your body. So he was like, we died, we broke our neck to get over
Yeah,
here.
see, but that's one of the biggest things in Africa, though. Tribalism. The tribalism is what's really killing them, really bad. Because if you're not part of their tribe, they're done with you. They won't support you. They won't hire you. They won't bring you in. Kind of like the Latin community here in America.
Now, one thing he did say, he goes, once me and my wife stack our money, we're going to take our money and go back to Africa. Because if you have money in Africa and you're low key, don't let nobody know you got money, just be under the radar, just chill. He goes, you can live like a king. But don't tell people you got money in Africa, which is the same thing in South America, anywhere else you go.
Here, here, you're right.
Now here too. Yeah, it's unfortunate. You can't have stuff here either. So the point I'm making is, I don't care if your mama was a slave. The fact that you know she was a slave and you understand how that works and you have opportunity, there's nothing stopping you from getting ahead. And I don't care what your situation is. If you understand that we have been wronged in the past, you understand that you can do something about it. And I really think when Black people get to that, affirmative action, I think, did what it needed to do. Because there was a point where we needed it. We don't need affirmative action anymore.
Or again, but it never benefited us ever.
Well, some of us did.
Like, yeah, it wasn't. It was supposed to be for Black people, like to help us move the ball, close the wealth gap, and get opportunities that we ordinarily wouldn't get. But yeah, it helped some people, but it didn't do what it was supposed to do.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother commentary. I mean, when you get something that you haven't earned, and I'm not saying we didn't deserve it, I'm saying something that you haven't earned, you don't really know what to do with it. Because we have a lot of kids that went to college and they have no idea what to do. Not just Black, but white. They don't have no idea what to do.
Do you know how many educated Africans are sitting in Africa because there is no opportunity, no jobs, and they're highly educated? This is where a lot of, not all, I don't want to offend anybody, a lot of your scamming comes back from Africa. Who's that girl on Basketball Wives? Portia Williams, I guess. Her husband got deported, about he can't get something, but he's a big scammer.
Oh. Yes, indeed. You know what though? I just realized the time we're gonna get out of here. I still gotta finish packing. Hello, Brina. How are you?
You know, you could only pack that little knapsack bag on Spirit.
That's all I need.
So that don't take long.
That's all I need. That's all I need. Common Man says, "Yep, like welfare." And Cosmo says, "I'm not familiar with West Africa, but some of the most intelligent, open-minded people I met were from South, East, and Central Africa." Oh, absolutely. And
no, highly intelligent people. I mean, highly intelligent people. They just don't have opportunities like that we do. It's sad.
From what I understand, and I haven't confirmed this, from what I understand, the number one from the economic per capita group is the Nigerian man. Number one in the U.S. People talk about the white man. The white man is below Filipino women. Earnings per capita. Something to think about. The African man that's come over here is at the top of the totem pole financially per capita. Just think about that. Seriously. How many poor African families do you know that came from Africa and came here? Just think about that.
And they look down on us. I remember I was dating this girl. She was from Nigeria. Matter of fact, Agam Chichindu. You guys, for those of you guys that know Basketball Wives, Agam Chichindu played LFL football, whatever, but she was on Basketball Wives, the African girl that was on there. I dated her older sister. And I went to this party, long story short, and the first thing they kept asking me was, how many degrees do you have? You know, what is your family background? What is it? The only thing that they would give me grace on was religion, because they were all Catholics. I was a Catholic. But I had to tell them I have 12 degrees. You have 12 degrees. I do not believe you. It was like, if you're an American, you are not on their level. And then when I'm kind of showing them, hey, I'm over here, you know, it was just too much, because I was constantly being challenged as a Black American about how great Nigeria is. And I had to tell them, if Nigeria is so freaking great, what the hell are you doing in my country?
Well, they're coming over here for opportunity. That's it. I mean, no one debates that the U.S. is the best country in the world for freedom of speech and to do something. You can come over here, a poor person, and you can start a business with $200, buy some hot dogs from Costco and sell them. Go over there with the Mexicans.
OnlyFans, whatever, LLC, $15.
Hot sauce,
Entrepreneurship.
the pico de gallo, whatever the shit they put on it, and you can go in front of Staples Centers and you can sell hot dogs. I don't care what you say, you could do that. And Black people, we don't have that drive because we have it comfortable in the U.S. And one, we didn't sacrifice in the U.S. We were kidnapped. To sacrifice means that you willingly do something. Black people we have not sacrificed. We were kidnapped. We were held to against our will. But here's one thing I will say. I am glad out of all the slaves that were dropped all over the world, I'm glad my family ended up here in America because we are the wealthiest, we are the strongest Black people in the world. We could have ended up in Dominican Republic or Panama. We could have been, Donovan, what's that street you rode? The Stroll Street. You could have a woman on the stroll. Like, seriously. And I'm going to say this. Slavery sucked for all people that have ever been slaves, which is almost everybody. It was madness. But we ended up, like, our ancestors went through some crap. Just madness you can never imagine. Like, I went to the Netherlands, and the stuff they talked about, like what they did to slaves, made the people in the U.S. look like Mother Teresa.
Where was this?
When I was in the Netherlands, I went to Amsterdam, and they talked. The cool thing about Amsterdam is they talk about their sins. They talk about how they did the Jews. Matter of fact, Anne Frank, her house is in Amsterdam. They talk about their crimes and how they did the Africans and the slaves. It's everywhere. When you go to this stuff, first thing they talk about, like, we apologize. They did some cool stuff. But in the U.S., if you are a Black person today and you can watch this podcast and engage, you can go out and do something for yourself. There's no reason. I don't care if your mother was a slave. As a matter of fact, if your mom was a slave, you have a better chance of being rich than being 20 generations down the line. Look at CJ and all those people, all the inventors, the Washingtons, Carvers, they were damn near slavery. They probably knew a slave or hear a story that was just told from a slave. Those guys were doing well. Black people in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s were doing well. Civil rights come in, you got these Democrats come in, and boom, it changes. And here we are.
Absolutely. So anyway, we love and appreciate every last one of y'all. We're going to get out of here. We did a little overtime. Ooh, it's almost 7:30. We'll be back here on Sunday with the Demetra K Show. Thank you, Donovan, for sitting here with us, and Walter for gracing us with your time. It must not be date night or something you hear, or whatever the case is. Yes, indeed. So anyway, if you guys want to help the channel, there's ways to do that at the bottom. And thank you all that donated. Love and appreciate you for that. I will have a safe trip. Just going to do a quick turnaround trip to see my father. And then I'm going to come back. I'm tired, y'all. But anyway, see y'all later. Peace.